The Vietnam War was a tumultuous chapter in American history, marked by contentious debates, social upheaval, and political divisions. Amid the chaos of the era, the United States Department of Defense, DoD, introduced a program that challenged conventional military recruitment standards and, tragically, led to dire consequences for those involved. This program, known as Project 100,000, lowered IQ requirements for enlistment and ultimately sent thousands of individuals into combat unprepared, leading to a significantly higher casualty rate. In 1967, at the height of the Vietnam War, a young man named Johnny Gupton found himself drafted into the Army to serve in a conflict he knew little about. Gupton's story was not unique. He couldn't read or write and had no knowledge of Vietnam. When questioned about his apparent mental disability, a non-commissioned officer casually referred to him as one of McNamara's morons. McNamara's morons was a moniker used throughout the armed forces to describe soldiers like Gupton, who were part of Project 100,000. Initiated by Defense Secretary Robert McNamara in 1967, this program aimed to recruit 100,000 men annually who did not meet the typical military standards, be it due to mental, physical, or psychological limitations. These recruits had IQs below 91, and nearly half scored below 71. Over the course of Project 100,000, which ran from 1966 to 1971, it admitted 354,000 individuals who were previously ineligible for military service. Tragically, 5,478 of them lost their lives in combat, and 20,270 were wounded. Project 100,000 pursued an aggressive recruitment strategy, pushing these individuals through training without meeting even the most basic military standards. Many of them were sent into combat, resulting in a disproportionately high casualty rate. While these recruits were promised greater benefits and opportunities in exchange for their service, those who survived returned home to find themselves abandoned by the government. This forgotten chapter of American history is a haunting reminder of the human cost of expedient recruitment tactics. To understand how Project 100,000 operated, it's essential to examine the changes made to military recruitment standards. Traditionally, only individuals in categories I3, with IQ scores ranging from 92 to 124 and above, were considered fit for military duty. Those in category IV, with IQ scores between 72 and 91, could enlist with special waivers, while category V, with IQ scores of 71 or lower, were barred from enlistment. Project 100,000, however, upended these standards. McNamara mandated that all Category IV recruits be allowed to enlist. Additionally, a significant number of Category V enlistees, a total of 30,301, were accepted through a loophole known as administrative acceptance. This practice aimed to prevent potential draftees from avoiding military service by deliberately failing the AFQT. While this practice was also used for draft dodgers, it became a common route for genuinely disabled individuals who could not test any better. The recruitment tactics of Project 100,000 primarily targeted economically disadvantaged areas, both urban and rural. As a result, the program disproportionately recruited black individuals and other minorities. A study by the RAND Corporation comparing new standards recruits, as they were officially known, to the broader military population found that 38% of these recruits were black or Hispanic, compared to just 10% in the control group. 13% of the new standards recruits read below a 4th grade level, in stark contrast to only 1% of the control group. They were over twice as likely to hail from the South. Basic training posed significant challenges for the new standards recruits. Author Hamilton Gregory, in his book, McNamara's Folly, shared his first-hand experience with these soldiers in remedial boot camps. He witnessed recruits who struggled to navigate obstacle courses and understand basic commands. Some were so confused by simple directional arrows that they found themselves going in the wrong direction. While some recruits faced abuse, others were passed along without adequate training or preparation. There were even instances where drill instructors forged academic and physical training scores for these soldiers. These challenges were exacerbated by a lack of understanding among new standards recruits on how to behave in combat situations. Combat is an unforgiving environment that cannot be manipulated or forged. As the war escalated, there were fewer opportunities to pass new standards recruits to other units. Consequently, 5,478 mentally disabled soldiers paid the ultimate price, losing their lives in combat. These soldiers were sent into combat at a rate nearly twice as high as other troops and faced a mortality rate 3 times higher. Project 100,000 soldiers were, in many ways, unwitting sacrifices to meet the growing need for troops in Vietnam. They were promised a path out of poverty and a chance to improve their lives upon their return. However, upon coming home, many of them found themselves in even worse circumstances than before. Traumatized by combat,